Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Welcome to the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, a show where I interview guests that teach, motivate, and inspire you to stop at nothing to fulfill your dreams. Today, I am joined by a special guest. Her name is Emilia Pedersen. She is a half Brazilian pop singer from Denmark, but she has been living in New York for the past 12 years. Emilia is also a model and an actress, and she has participated in several productions as well as several fashion shows over the years. Emilia is an ambassador of multiple charities. So we're going to be talking to her today about her life, as well as I'm going to be asking her who her musical influences are. Emilia, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. Hello, everyone.
Why don't you start off by giving everyone a brief background about yourself?
Sure, I would love to. So everyone, hi, I'm Emilia Pedersen. I am an actress, singer, and model, and I am from Denmark. I was born there, but I'm also half Brazilian. Fun fact, I speak 4 languages, Danish, Portuguese, Spanish, and English. And I have just been in love with the arts ever since I was little. It's always been my biggest passion.
Okay, so let's talk about how you got into singing and acting and modeling. Was it something you done when you were little, or how did you get into it?
So I started kind of trying everything out when I was young, and then I just absolutely fell in love with acting and singing especially. I love that I could kind of take on this different character and tell stories in both acting and also in singing. So it's always been something that I've loved to do. And then I just always wanted to perfect my craft, and I was always practicing and taking lessons and doing all the school musicals and theater shows and being part of the chorus and the choir. So it was always something that I just loved to do and something I was very, very passionate about and something I was very adamant about becoming good at. And then when I was about 14 or 13 years old, I started thinking of it as a career, as something that I could do every day for the rest of my life. And my family is so supportive, and they've just been absolutely amazing in helping me make this dream of mine come true.
So you're originally from Denmark. How did you end up moving to New York?
So I moved to New York when I was 7 years old, and I moved with my whole family, my mom, my dad, and my older brother. And we moved because it would be better for my brother and I, because we're both into the arts. My brother is also a singer and a music producer. So there's just more opportunity for us in the United States, especially in New York. So that's why we wanted to move. And similarly, it was also better for my parents' jobs, because my mother is also a journalist and she also worked at Wall Street, and my father is also a businessman. So it was just better for all of us to live in New York. So we all sat together and decided together that we should all come here.
So in your bio, you said that you've participated in multiple fashion shows and multiple productions.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about some of the fashion shows and the productions that you have participated in over the years?
Of course. So my very, very first show was for modeling was in Denmark, in Copenhagen, when I was about 3 years old. It was the first time I had ever done a show, and I just thought it was so much fun. And then when I started taking it more seriously here in the United States, the major show that I did was in New York. I opened New York Fashion Week, and then I also in Brazil opened Sao Paulo Fashion Week. So it was a huge dream come true, and it was a lot of fun. And I also have been working on a lot of films, and I've been in some documentaries for acting that are out, and some of them are even out on Virgin Airlines. And then there's another documentary that is also available called Influencers. And there's some new movies coming soon, hopefully. Because of COVID, the editing process has kind of been pushed back a little bit. But I'm in another film called Diaries of an Exchange Student, which I hope will be released on Netflix this year. It was supposed to be released last year. And I have a lot of more projects coming that I can't talk about quite yet, but I'm always finding things to keep myself busy. Like I always say, I love to stay busy. I love having things to do, and I just love working. It's a big passion of mine. And along with all of the fashion shows and all the movies, I am also making a lot of new music.
Yeah, let's talk about that new music. Tell us about some of the songs that you have made, some of the new music, and where we can listen to it at.
Absolutely. So my music is available on all streaming platforms. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Amazon, anywhere. You can just search up Emilia Pedersen and my music will come up. And I sing pop music, but I'm actually classically trained. That's what I learned growing up, and that's what I studied in school. So I'm classically trained. That's my background. But I just love pop music so much. And I also think that in pop music, there's such a wide variety and such a big range of things that you can play around with. And I love to do that in my music. I always love to explore different corners that is pop music, and I love making every song that I make a little bit different from the other ones so that I can explore my creativity a little bit more. And I'm so happy to already have released 5 tracks on all these streaming platforms, and I'm so happy for all your support, guys. You're being so sweet and so incredible. I'm so happy that you're liking it. And each track also has a music video that is on YouTube. Now, for the music videos, I also love to get really creative with it because I'm also an actress. So it's a lot of fun for me to be able to create this whole world for you guys so that you can kind of see what it is that I'm envisioning when it is that I listen to my own music and when I write and create my own music.
Well, I like to do this for all of my musicians that I have on the show. Might put you on the spot a little bit, but could you go ahead and sing a little bit for us? Just kind of let us hear what you're doing and hear your voice.
Absolutely. I will actually give you guys a little treat, and I'm going to sing a little bit of a song that's not been released yet. Is that okay?
Oh, that's absolutely perfect.
So this song is called Believe It, and it's going to be a cappella, guys. So do you believe it? No, it's a shot in the dark, but it's all that we've got, and we'll keep it, 'cause we can't just turn on the light when our hands are still tied, and I carry this torch into the night. Don't believe it, just believe in us tonight.
That was wonderful.
Thank you. I hope the audio quality is okay.
Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Thank
so
you.
When is that one coming out?
I'm not exactly sure yet. We're still in the process of filming the music video. So in a few months that will be available.
So have you topped any charts or anything, or have you sang at any big shows or opened for any big acts?
I open a lot of big shows in New York for a lot of Brazilian singers when they come on tour. And I've even been on tour with some of them, which has been an incredible experience. Being on tour is definitely a lot of fun, but also very stressful. It's really hard to travel one day and then perform a show at night and then travel and then perform a show. And it's a lot, but it's definitely a lot of fun and an amazing experience. And you also get to meet so many different people from so many different parts of the world. So I love touring. And a lot of the shows that I do are actually here in New York, in Manhattan. In Times Square, I've performed at the Sony Music Hall, which is so much fun, and everyone is so great. And I even performed for Catherine Zeta-Jones and her husband, Michael. So it was an amazing experience, and they were also so sweet. And there's a lot of shows that are amazing. I did an arena in Boston, which was also an amazing experience. And in Miami, I did a show. And in New Jersey, I've done shows. So it's definitely a lot of fun. And I miss it. I hope we can go back to all being together and enjoying music and concerts and music festivals very soon. But of course, we still have to be careful with all of the pandemic precautions that we need to take.
Well, tell us about some of your biggest musical influences. Who influenced you to do what you're doing today?
Of course. So like I said, it's always been something that I've loved, and some of the people that I look up to are definitely Ariana Grande. She has such an incredible voice, and she's very talented in how she maneuvers that voice. She has a lot of skill, and she can control it very well. So that's definitely something that I look up to, and something that I also try to do with my own voice and in my own music. And Justin Bieber is also very creative with all of his music, and his music has also evolved a lot. So he's making a lot of new different sounds, which I also think is very interesting. Shawn Mendes is also very talented. His music is beautiful. And Ed Sheeran is another phenomenal artist who's very talented as well. And Beyonce, of course, I don't even need to explain how incredible she is. So there's a lot of different artists that I definitely draw inspiration from.
Yeah, you also mentioned Billie Eilish as well.
Yeah, Billie Eilish is also phenomenal.
Eilish.
She's so different and she is very bold, which I also look up to as well.
Well, you're also a multiple ambassador, an ambassador of multiple charities. Tell
I
us about those charities and why you decided to be an ambassador for them.
Charity has always been a very big part of my family, and it's not something that I so much talk about because it's just the way that I was raised. It's something that's just part of our everyday lives. It's something that my grandmother taught to my mother, and my mother is now teaching to my brother and I. So I'm the ambassador for 3 charity organizations. One of them, we work very hard to fund cancer research. And that's also very close to me because my grandmother died from cancer. So that's something that's very close to our family. And we work very hard in trying to help in whichever way that we can in this fight against cancer and do as much as we can to help these people that are researching. And it's an amazing project that we've been doing. And then another one is school children, because in Brazil and in other third world countries, a lot of school children, they don't have the supplies needed in order to go to school. For example, they don't have notebooks, they don't have pencils, and some of the schools are crumbling and they needed renovating. So my family and I, we all went to these schools and we spoke to these children and their families, and we renovated schools and we donated a bunch of supplies, and we got some kids here to donate supplies there to them as well, which was very beautiful. It was a beautiful project. And another charity organization that I'm part of works to bring water, clean water sources to areas in northern Brazil that does not have clean water sources. The ground is actually so dry that it cracks. So we create a lot of wells and water diggers so that we can provide clean water sources for these neighborhoods, which is also another very beautiful project.
And I do know that you don't really like to talk about your charitable work, but I wanted to mention it to let the audience know that there are needs out there, and if you can donate, go ahead and do so.
You can, you should. And anything, I always say this, anything that you can do to help makes such a huge difference. People don't realize that sometimes.
Why don't you give out your contact information? How can people connect with you on social media, on the web? Any contact information you would like to give out?
Of course. So you can find me on Instagram as Emilia Pedersen Official. You can find me on Snapchat as Emilia Pedersen 1. And you can find me on Facebook as well, and on YouTube and Spotify. I'm Emilia Pedersen everywhere. I would love to chat with you guys. And I use my platforms and I love to engage with all of you. So we're all one big happy family, and I love talking to everyone as well. So I can't wait to chat with you guys.
Do you have any final thoughts, any words of encouragement for anybody, but the inspiring singers, the actors or models who are out there trying to make it? You got any final words for them?
Well, first off, I would just like to say thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here with us today. And thank you for all the support that you guys are showing me. It really means the world to me. I can't even express it enough. And for any aspiring actors, singers, models, or just anyone really who needs a little push to get out there and chase your dreams, let me be the first to say that it is definitely worthwhile. It is definitely worth trying. And I've always said that if you put your mind to it, you can be anything that you want to be. So don't stop chasing your dreams, no matter how many no's you get or no matter how many people say that you can't do it. You just have to believe in yourself, and you absolutely can.
Do you have a website?
Yeah, I also have a website. If you just put into Google Emilia Pedersen, it should pop up.
Absolutely. Well, Emilia, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And listeners, please be sure to follow, rate, review, and share after listening. Thank you for joining me today, Emilia.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.